Welcome back, I'm DRN and this is Mechabellum, Patch Day 1.7. We have the new buildings added to the game. First up we've got the wall. Not terribly impressive, it's a one-way structure that lets your units pass through but enemy units not. Comes in 5 little chunks, each chunk's got 2000 health. Will slow down light units or slow firing units. So think Mustangs and Saberteeth are the units this one slows down the most. Next we've got the anti-armor cannon. It's a slow-firing turret with a 140 meter range that does 2,748 damage a shot for 6 shots. Bit of a funny number, just lets it one-shot level 2 Void Eyes. It's best against tanks and steel balls, but even those it takes 2 shots to kill. Not my favourite, I'll be honest. Its DPS while shooting is about the same as a pack of Mustangs, but once it's fired 6 shots it has to take 10 seconds to reload. It's a touch underwhelming, I'll be honest. But hey, free damage is free damage. Watch how slow that reload is. Ugh, it's painful to see. There you go, now I can start shooting again. Next up we have the creme de la creme, the rapid fire cannon. This one shoots fast, has big splash, but not much damage at only 82 damage per shot. 2 shots to kill a fang and 4 shots to kill a crawler. But it's that splash damage that matters and the fast reload. Look at him go. Runs out of bullets halfway through a crawler back there. It's not bad, but it's not exactly game-changing at all. Unless you can protect him for days. So, what's unique about buildings compared to units and devices? Currently, buildings only appear in 1v1 and 2v2 battles. At the start of each game, the system selects one of 8 building layouts. Buildings will appear on the battlefield in round 1, and will always be mirrored or flipped. Buildings will respawn the next round, cannot be upgraded or moved, cannot be given items, don't deal damage to players, and don't give XP to units that kill them. I just tested that in the testing rounds. So what was the goal of buildings? What's the design intent? What was Bearlight thinking? They want to reduce the randomness on round 1, which I get. Asymmetry, putting all your units on one side, often results in either headbutts, where you're fighting straight into your opponent, or 69s where you're both taking opposite towers, and it's pretty much a coin flip. The idea behind buildings is to make it easier to predict what your opponent's going to do, to give us some structure on the board to play off. The secondary goal was to make it less formulaic, they say, but with only 8 building layouts, I think after a couple dozen games you'll get a feel for what the best use of each layout would be, which I think will make it more formulaic, not less, but we'll see. A third goal mentioned is to reduce the snowball effect in the early rounds, where winning the first round often meant you won the second round, particularly if you got a level on some key unit like steel balls or a sabertooth. So the obvious question, why are buildings so weak? Why can't we upgrade them? Why can't we buy a big Bertha or a massive cannon? Slap a damage item on it? And the answer is they don't want us to turtle too much. They want the game to be moving forward each round. And I will admit the turtle mountain hiding behind a high level tower is a really boring playstyle to play against. Where it becomes a question of, can I walk my melting point forward far enough to kill it? Yes or no? I have a sneaky feeling powerful buildings would lead to a similar situation. But they are thinking of making more buildings, which could be interesting. Overall, I'm looking forward to playing with them. I don't think they'll be game-breakingly powerful, but they'll be interesting curios for the first couple of rounds. And a nice little bonus if you can play around them smartly. Right, now to the real deal, the real patch notes, the balance adjustments. These are what I look forward to with bated breath, eagerly anticipating how the meta will be shaken out. So we have big Titan changes. Effectively, what they've done is rolled the efficient maintenance tech into the unlock cost of the Titans. So now unlocking a Titan costs 350 rather than just 200. And all the other techs have gone up by 200 cost. And on top of that, all the Titans across the board have lost 10% of their HP, which I think was sorely needed, because I think as soon as a Titan landed on the board, nothing else on the board mattered apart from the Titan, really. Hopefully now the little fellas, the small guys, can win some rounds too. But we'll see, 10% isn't that much, but at least buying a Titan now costs more. Interesting to note, the only tech which didn't get the 200 cost increase was War Factory Anti-Missile, which only went up by 150, probably because in their data it's underperforming, compared to Production Factory or Combat Factory. Not interested in Death Knell. Right, Fortress. Plus 7% attack. Yeah, not enough. The reason Fortresses are weak right now is they are too squishy compared to the damage output from Titans, and boards are built to kill Titans now, so they can kill Fortresses without even trying. Sorry, Fortress still in dumpster tier, but it's nice to see they're getting some attention. Right, Fang's getting 3% more damage. Is this a crawler nerf? Is Carry Fang back on the menu? No. It's a slight touch that might help them deal with wasps summoning in their backline. I suspect we'll barely notice the difference. Stormcaller's getting nerfed, losing 3% damage. You will actually notice this one. I suspect this is a preventative nerf because Stormcallers can hide behind the new buildings. And Stormcaller starts are generally good versus everything apart from aggro. And out and out aggro will have a slightly harder time now with the new buildings and turrets. We'll see though, I wasn't really expecting more Stormcaller nerfs, but I'm not upset. And to be honest, when I was a starting out player, these were one of my most hated units. Sandworm buffed. Interesting. I actually find late game Sandworms quite strong. I guess now the mountain's a real unit, and War Factories are combat ready, but the old Shire Halud has been performing less well in the data. 7% attack's a nice big chunk, Sandstorm getting cheaper, and Underground Maintenance getting cheaper and better. Wow, double buffed. Rise of the Worm. We shall have to see. Crawler, actual nerf. What? Never. Oh, it's a minus 10% effect from the loose formation tag. So now units with a 4 meter splash can actually hit 3 at once, and units with a 8 meter splash can hit 5 at once. So that's a buff to HE Mustang, Farseer, and Wraith into loose formation crawler. Wow, that is proper fringe case scenario. But fair enough. Speaking of Farseer, burst mode going up to 200 cost. About damn time. I think you could have done this change 2 weeks ago. And oh my word, Vulcans have been nerfed. Scorching Fire going up by 100 from 200 to 300. That's a big nerf. That's an integral part of my carry Vulcan build. They actually nerfed the correct part. Wow, I'm impressed. It's almost like Bearlight plays this game. Ooh, no other unit changes. Things are missing. Sabertooth starts at the moment feel very strong. And I suspect with the addition of buildings, none of which can actually kill a Sabertooth. Well, except for the anti-armor turret, which has to use all 6 shots to kill a single Sabertooth, and then reload for 10 seconds. Good luck with that. So yeah, a little bit surprised Sabertooth went untouched. Not sure how I'd do it, probably drop the HP a little bit. Tarantula's untouched, surprised. Very popular start that synergized well with around 6 or around 7 Titan drop. You just go range, splash damage on the Tarantulas and you get your chaff cover cleared. And then the Titan could smash everything. But with the big changes to Titans, I can see Tarantula not being that scary anymore. Okay, right, specialist changes. Giant Specialist adjusted to decrease its unlock cost of Giant and Titan units by 200 rather than giving them for free. Means they'll have to pay 50 for Overlords and 150 for all the Titans. Yeah, I like it. Great change. Aerial Specialist, same effect for Overlords. They start to pay 50 to unlock Overlord and 150 to unlock Abyss. Fair enough. Rhino Specialist and Typhoon Specialist both going to minus 300 starting health. Yeah, I like it. High tempo starts that suddenly uppercut you once they get the big units for free, having used the previous couple of turns to prepare items for them. Ooh, and Oil Bombs. Area has been reduced by 20%, so the oil spell is smaller now. Like it. Guessing it would work too well with turrets and buildings. I know they're toying with the idea of removing it from the tower and making it a card you pick from the selection again. Cool, no issues there. Seasons 5 and 6 will be a week shorter. Okay, I guess that means that Season 5 won't end on Christmas Day, with Season 6 starting on Boxing Day. And the assistant grid is finally here. We can see the grid the whole time. You have to use Control G to toggle the grid though. That's a fairly obscure hotkey, if you don't mind me saying. What was wrong with Control F? Key's even got the nice little bump on it. Ah, whatever. Nice. I'm glad it's here. Nice that we can change the colour of it if we wish. And ooh, with the addition of buildings, the deployment area on round 1 is increasing back to its normal size. This was a change some 2 years ago, where they took away the front 2 squares for the first round, because frankly aggro was murdering everything. This was in the heady days of Rhino aggro being a scary and viable build, and with the rise of the cult of the Rhino Wasp, round 1 Rhino is back on the menu, only for Rhino Specialist, because it still costs 50 to unlock. I guess supply spec, training spec, cost control, and anyone who presses the loan button can get a Rhino on turn 1 if they wish. Lobby room changes, host can actually kick people, nice, don't really care. Optimizations, ooh, a bit less lag when the Abyss flings out its missiles. Can we get the same for the crawler pathing? Survival players will know what I'm talking about when the world goes crazy with millions of crawlers, particularly if they've got the underground tech for some reason. Anyway, looks like a good patch. We'll have to see how buildings shake out. I don't think they're that scary, but I'm sure everyone will try and convince you they're the worst thing to happen to Mechabellum ever. There'll be clickbait thumbnails on YouTube left and right with pictures of building wins game, your guide to making the most of the buildings. But the fundamentals of the game are unchanged. Win the chaff battle, win the war. Well, hope you found this useful. Had some fun listening to my meandering thoughts, and editing DRN has done his best to make this make some semblance of sense. Thank you for watching as always. I'll see you next time. This was Mechabellum 1.7 Explained by the infamous DRN.